Boxing Day is always a busy day for football with all the results. Now on BBC Two, here's Gabby Logan with Final Score.
West Ham United 0.
Trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. The latest score is Wimbledon go through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember. It was 2 crucial weeks.
Welcome to Final Score. Eating yourself silly on chocolate, argued with the in-laws, still can't find the batteries? Don't worry, we've got your football covered. 5 Premier League matches are taking place right now. There was a lunchtime kickoff at Stamford Bridge. Plenty to tell you about in the Football League as well. Matt Holland and Dion Dublin are providing the Christmas cheer all afternoon. You'll hear from them in just a moment. First, let's update you from Stamford Bridge. Chelsea took on Fulham in the lunchtime kickoff. Chelsea went ahead on Fulham in the Premier League right now, and it's Bolton 0, Newcastle 2. The game at the Reebok wasn't doing much for those Christmas hangovers, but Hatem Ben Arthur and Demba Ba have put the visitors in control. Newcastle without a win in 6 is their slide over. Liverpool 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Bottom of the table, Blackburn on course for a precious point, although Liverpool are pushing for victory after Maxi cancelled out Charlie Adams' own goal and Steven Gerrard has come off the bench for the home side. Manchester United are 3-0 up against Wigan at home. No Rooney, no defenders, no problem for United. Berbatov has scored twice. He's gone off now, though, and Wayne Rooney has come off the bench. Park Ji-sung got the other. Sunderland 1, Everton 1. Jack Colback gave Sunderland the lead, but a Leighton Baines potentially controversial penalty, you make up your mind on Match of the Day, has made it honours even, and it's West Brom 0, Manchester City 0. The leaders haven't failed to score so far this season. Can they keep that run going, or will West Brom throw the title race wide open? Because if things stay as they are, the top 2 will be level on 45 points. Let's head straight to Old Trafford. Damian Johnson has seen plenty of goals this afternoon. Is that another one?
No, nearly. It was an effort on goal from Makeda, the substitute, saved by El Habsi, but United are strolling to victory here against 10-man Wigan. Ji-sung Park put the champions ahead with a side-foot finish. Wigan striker Connor Salmon was given a straight red rather harshly after his hand had made contact with United makeshift defender Michael Carrick's face. Dimitar Berbatov doubled United's lead almost immediately after that. He grabbed his second at the start of the second half. Rooney started on the bench. He's on as a second half substitute, but he's playing in midfield again. But it's comfortable for United, 3-0.
Leicester have equalised at home. Ipswich took the lead early in the first half. It's on 69 minutes, plenty of time to go. Let's go to the Hawthorns, though, now. And Andrew James can tell us why Man City's star-studded lineup have failed to score.
Because of a resolute performance defensively, Gabby, from West Bromwich Albion. Make no mistake about this, the stats will show all the possession that Manchester City have had, but the facts are that West Bromwich Albion could be in the lead, and of course City have lost just the once in the league this season. Jerome Thomas just a few moments ago hitting the foot of the post with a drive from 25 yards. That one of 2 or 3 efforts for West Brom in this game overall. On the whole, they've been defending possession something like 60% to 40 in favour of Man City. Balotelli, who's back in the side today, he hit the top of the bar from 30 yards with an effort out of nowhere at the start of the second half. But otherwise, City have been struggling to really make it count, having 4 attackers on at the start. They had Aguero, Nasri, Silva and Balotelli back in the starting lineup today, as I mentioned, all on at the start. But Nasri and Aguero have both already been substituted. Gareth Barry and Adam Johnson coming on for them. At the moment, this game is wide open, and City, if they don't take maximum points, will really wonder why they haven't with the lineup available to them. It's 0-0, Gabby.
Because meanwhile, Manchester United keep on scoring at Old Trafford. Damian Johnson.
Yes, it's turning into a Boxing Day massacre here because they've added a 4th through Antonio Valencia. The ball failing to clear Wigan's lines. It fell eventually to Valencia and he drilled it right-footed low into the net. 4-0.
Good goal.
Yeah, it was a fantastic strike, and you know they should know everything about Valencia. If he sees a goal and he sees that far left-hand post, he'll always cut it across it and hit it far past the goalkeeper. But as Matt's just said, I'll let Matt tell you exactly who was there on the edge of the box.
The ball's come out to the edge of the box, and Carrick's picked it up. He's the centre half, and he's played it to Valencia, who's the right back, and they're on the edge of the box. It just goes to show what a one-sided game it's been today.
And how much of an impact has Salmon sending off, do you think, had on that? Would it have been quite so one-sided?
Well, I think United would still have won, and they had enough. But the back line was Valencia, Carrick, Everett and Fryers in the second half, and surely it would have caused him a few more problems.
Let's tell you that Coventry, who rock bottom without a win in 4, have got a goal. Gary Deegan on 72 minutes. They're leading Bristol City. Let's go to Anfield, though. Richard Askham can tell us about the game there.
Yes, hi, Gabby. One apiece here. Steven Gerrard is on back for his first appearance for over 2 months. He nearly created a goal with his first touch as well, as Blackburn have a good attack here. David Dunn in a great position. Left-footed shoots, but it's just scuffed wide. He was only about 8 yards out there, Gabby, in the centre of the Liverpool penalty area. A really good chance that he created for himself. Somehow Liverpool managed to snuff out the danger. David Dunn not happy looking at him. I think he either thinks he should have done better, or perhaps he was fouled. But overall, Gabby, Liverpool have had plenty of chances. As I mentioned, Steven Gerrard almost created one with his first touch. Another chance for Liverpool there as well. Mark Bond just clutching onto the ball. Max it was who got the equaliser for Liverpool after Martin Skirtle had hooked the ball back in. This after a first half where Liverpool had wasted opportunities before Blackburn Rovers took the lead through an own goal from Charlie Adam. He's the man who's gone off, replaced by Steven Gerrard. Liverpool searching for a second goal that might take them to those 3 points.
And how's your luck? Wigan already, of course, 4 goals down, just conceded a penalty at Old Trafford, and no question, really.
Absolutely no question at all. Man United had a free kick right on their left wing area, throws it into Berbatov. Berbatov just plays it into Ji-sung Park, and he just touches it, and, you know, it's an amazing, amazing touch, and it's definitely a pen.
OK, well, let's hear about it. Berbatov, of course, got 3 hat-tricks last season. Damien Johnson.
He's just rolled in another hat-trick, sent Al-Habsi the wrong way. I've not seen a replay yet of the penalty incident, but there is some suggestion it may have been outside of the box when Alcaraz made contact with Park. Need to see that one again, but the penalty was pretty emphatic. 5-0 now.
Thank you. There is a slight question mark for you, Matt. Definitely the contact was there, but the positioning, obviously.
It was a foul, absolutely no question. Alcaraz caught him, Ji-sung Park. The question mark is whether it was outside the box or not. The contact, I mean, it's difficult. It's on the line. It's almost on the line. It's one of those you can give it, you couldn't. It's difficult to know, really. May have been just a fraction outside the box.
Some will say those kinds of decisions don't really generally go for you, do they, when you're playing in Old Trafford?
Well, when you're 4-0 down, you've had a man sent off.
OK. Things are going Newcastle's way today, though. It's been 6 games since they had a win. James Mason is looking good.
It's looking very good. Bolton 0, Newcastle 2, Gabby. After what was a lacklustre first half in which chances were few and far between, the second half burst into life with 2 very quick goals to give Newcastle perhaps an unassailable lead. Firstly, Ryan Taylor raced down the left-hand side before centering for substitute Hatem Ben Arfa to score with the sweetest of first-time strikes. And moments later, it was 2 with the prolific Demba Ba scoring from inside the area. His efforts in off the bar. Now his 14th league goal of the season. How he'll be missed during the African Cup of Nations. We've got 10 minutes left on the clock, and Newcastle's winless run of 6 games, Gabby, as you say, looks to be over as Bolton's woes continue. Newcastle lead 2-0.
We've had enough wind jokes around here today with the Brussels sprouts, so let's just leave it. Let's move on to the Stadium of Light. And the Martin O'Neill effect seemed to be working, and then a little bit of, well, a questionable decision for Everton's penalty, Steve Sutton.
Yes, make your own minds up on match of the day tonight, Gabby. Sunderland took the lead midway through the first half. Jack Colback came on as a substitute for the injured Titus Bramble and finished off a good move by Stefan Sessegnon, although the ball did take a big deflection off Distan, looping over the top of Tim Howard. Then, a couple of minutes after the restart for the second half, the controversial penalty, the talking point of the match, Leon Osman skipping into the Sunderland box, Catamolan Wes Brown in close attendance, but looking at the replays, you could probably see that Osman kicked the ground and fell over. There was certainly no contact between him and the 2 Sunderland defenders. Anyway, Leighton Baines stepped up to lash the ball into the back of the net. Well, that's how it stands now. Sunderland 1, Everton 1.
Thank you very much, Steve. No question was there for you two about that, and it was just a An unfortunate scuffing of the ground that turned into a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, he made a good run. He's just about to shoot. I think he goes past Catamol. There's absolutely no contact whatsoever. And just as he's about to shoot, Wes Brown makes the block, but he just kicks the floor. Osman goes down. You know, he's not looking for a penalty. It's one of those. He's not trying to cheat the referee. He's not trying to con anyone. But it was never a penalty.
I think he was just off balance, and he's tried to get his shot off, and I think he's a little bit lower to the ground than he thought, and he's just scuffed his ankle. Could have hurt himself, but he's got himself a pen. How he's got himself a pen, I don't know, but it was never a pen and there was no contact.
Well, if things stay as they are right now, what for you is heading to be the result of the day?
Well, West Brom.
West
Brom. I think, everyone would have said that Man City going to West Brom would probably get 3 points. West Brom have been in a good run of form, won 2 matches on a spin, looking for 3 today. And they've had their chances. Jerome Thompson's hit the post as well. City have had the majority of play. They've had majority of possession. They've passed it quite well. Balotelli's hit the bar. But West Brom have been in the game. They've defended very well, and they've had chances themselves.
I think Blackburn as well are doing OK under the circumstances. I think that would be a very, very good result for them as well.
OK, there were a few lunchtime kickoffs in the Championship today. The league leaders, Southampton, have had a bit of a wobble of late. Back at home, though, today, up against Crystal Palace. And Steve DeRider was the provider for Julie De Prado, whose header set the Saints on their way. Another close-range effort from the Brazilian sealed what was only a second win in 6 for the league leaders. It's so tight at the top of the Championship, as Cardiff know. And they went today to Watford. They could only manage Vicarage Road a draw, 1 apiece it finished. The Hornets took the lead against the run of play, though, when Marvin Sordell found Prince Buarden, who fired home his first goal for the club. The Bluebirds, though, were gifted an equaliser when a moment of madness from keeper Scott Loach, there it was, saw the ball clip off Adrian Mariappa into his own net. So the spoils were shared on Boxing Day at Vicarage Road. And let's have a look at the other Championship results from lunchtime. An evening kick-off at the City Ground. West Ham in second place go there. Derby 1, Leeds 0 was the final score. Second half, Jamie Ward goal enough to give the Rams only their 3rd win in 15 games against Simon Grayson's side that wobbled of late. And Millwall 1, Portsmouth 0, a solitary goal by Danny Ngesson and Kenny Jackett, his 100th win as Millwall boss. Ending Pompey's 4-game unbeaten run. Well, we had a hat-trick at Old Trafford. We've got another hat-trick for Alan Biggs to tell us about. Anne Oakwell.
Yes, we have, Gabby. Barnsley 1, Blackpool 3. The hat-trick from Phillips. No, not Kevin Phillips on this occasion. It's Matt Phillips. He's just completed it with a penalty in what's been a fine open game, all passing, no hoofing, marred only slightly by the standard of the finishing from both sides and some uncharacteristically shaky goalkeeping from Barnsley's Luke Steele, because he was embarrassingly beaten at the near post for Blackpool's second goal, an intended cross by Phillips that beat everybody to put them 2-1 up. Phillips having earlier fired the equaliser with a helping hand from Steele at 1-1, with Blackpool having come from behind after Matt Dunn had put Barnsley in front in the first half. It's Barnsley 1, Blackpool 3.
Let's go to the Riverside. This was billed as the pick of the pops, Paul Addison, with Middlesbrough in 3rd and Holland 4th at the start of the day. It's building, though, isn't it?
It's very, very slowly. By about next week, it might have built into something, Gabby. It's still 0-0, and in all honesty, as you suspect happens when these matches come around, the match of the day and all that, the big build-up, Hull going for their 5th successive win, Borough going for their 4th. It turns out to be very poor, and it has been. But in fairness to the players on the pitch, they've not been helped by a terrible swirling wind here, which has presented us with 2 of the best chances of the games. Dodgy headers back that didn't have enough steam on them, almost capitalised on by Matty Fryatt for Hull and Bartok Betche for the Borough, but it came to no avail. Best chance was Hull probably should have had a penalty in the first half. An absolute stunner as I speak. And forget everything I've just said, Gabby, because Barry Robson has just brought the Riverside to life. He picked the ball up on the right-hand side, cut it onto his favoured left foot, and then absolutely lashed the ball into the back of the Hull City net. What a match! Middlesbrough 1, Hull City 0.
He's almost glad he went to work today now. OK, we've got a goal to tell you about at Turf Moor. Andy May.
It's 2-0 to Burnley. They've got their first win now secured over Doncaster for 20 years. Martin Patterson with the second, a header from from close range after an incredible shot from Jay Rodriguez, the other scorer. A shot from well outside of the box. It hammered against the crossbar, bounced down. Patterson headed home after Rodriguez scored in the first half from the penalty spot. We've also seen lots of boos for El Hadjouf on his return to the Doncaster team. They're losing 2-0 against Burnley.
Ipswich took the lead in the first half, but Leicester have got right back into it at the King Power. Mark Bishop.
They certainly have, Gabby. Leicester City won, Ipswich Town won. They were booed off at half-time by a large section of a massive 27,000 home crowd here at the King Power. But Leicester responded thanks to Paul Gallagher's penalty after Jason Scotland handled Welland's cross. Don't let the scoreline fool you though. Ipswich, they've been bright and busy all over the pitch. They've dominated large parts of this game in driving, swirling rain here in the East Midlands. 34-year-old Lee Bowyer putting the Tractor Boys ahead on 4 minutes from close range. And this after Kasper Schmeichel had tipped Chopra's penalty kick around the post after Konchesky had fouled Lee Martin inside 30 seconds. 1-1.
Let's go to Tony Lockwood now. And the Majeski Reading are really pushing themselves up the league, and it sounds like it's been an impressive performance this afternoon.
It has, Gabby. Brighton, to be fair, have rallied, but they've been wasteful in front of goal. Reading, one of the Championship's in-form sides, this 2-goal cushion. Joby McAnuff has made the difference. An awful long way back for Gus Poyet's side. Jimmy Kebe brought back into the Reading side, crossing for McAnuff to open the scoring. Kebe then saw his effort cleared off the goal line. Brighton rocked back on their heels in time added on at the end of the first half. McAnuff struck. It took a big deflection en route to goal. There's a sizable bank holiday crowd, over 22,000. That is the third highest Boxing Day home crowd in Reading's history. 4 wins in 5. They're on course to make it 5 wins in 6. 1.5 minutes left. Reading 2, Brighton 0.
What an important win for Bradford. This looks like it's going to be. It's 3-0 at the moment to Crewe. James Hansen on 84 minutes. Let's go, though, to the Rico, because another important win potentially for Coventry, Steve Lee.
Yes, it's Coventry 1, Bristol City 0. The last Coventry win in the league was on October the 15th when the leaves were still on the trees and Christmas just a distant thought. Gary Deegan, the sub, has got the all-important goal here at the Rico. A free kick from Gary McSheffrey wasn't cleared by the Bristol City defence and he fired it past David James. Just before that, Gary McSheffrey missed a great chance for his 63rd career goal for the Sky Blues. He would normally have put that one in, but such is the low confidence, it didn't go in. In between times, the Domers had 2 terrific chances for Bristol City to level things, but Coventry are hanging on by their fingertips. It's Coventry 1, Bristol City 0.
So, Andy Barwell can tell us exactly, but is it getting close to 9 hours since Nottingham Forest scored a goal?
Well, it's looking pretty bad for them again, Gabby. It's 1-0 to Peterborough here. George Boyd with a precise shot from just outside the area on 20 minutes. Forest came into this game having picked up 1 point out of a possible 15. No goals in the last 5 games. In serious danger now of making that 6 matches without scoring. And it's beginning to get a little desperate, although it did need Peterborough defender Ryan Bennett to clear Lewis McGugan's effort off the line. But time is running out again for Steve Cottrell's men. Nottingham Forest 0, Peterborough United 1.
OK, just a quick reminder, there's more sport on the BBC tomorrow. We've got the Welsh Grand National tomorrow afternoon, live from Chepstow. Coverage starts on BBC 2 at 12:45 with the big race just after 2 o'clock. You both looked at each other knowingly there. You got a tip you want to share with us?
No, we were just laughing at the United game, actually.
Don't go to United and sit back. That's one of the tips.
It's just so much possession now. It's like a testimonial. I mean, the game's well and truly done and dusted.
OK. Let's go to Hamish Marshall, Huish Park. The league leaders, Charlton, have been tested today.
Yeah, 2 right they have. It's Yeovil 2, Charlton 2, and twice Charlton have been behind to goals from John Obika and Paul Huntington. But on both occasions, it hasn't taken them too long to get back on terms, thanks to a header from Danny Holland and a superb 25-yard free kick from Jan Kjargamant. A superb save from Yeovil keeper Rennie Gilmartin has denied Charlton taking the lead, but they've really had the Yeovil goal under siege for the last 15 minutes. They've got 5 minutes to try to get that winner. It's Yeovil 2, Charlton 2.
Well, hot on their heels of Sheffield Wednesday, and there's a goal at the best mascot, Lindsay Hooper. Who's got it?
It's Walsall, Gabby. Walsall 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. I was getting all primed and ready to say how they'd given a good account of themselves and were unlucky against Sheffield Wednesday in my full time. But they've managed to get an equaliser. Claude Napper, which was off the substitutes bench. He hit a strike from about 25 yards out. It went through a flurry of defenders, got a deflection undoubtedly, but importantly found the back of the net. Walsall 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Well, what odds would you have got on this scoreline? It's all over at the Hawthorns. Andrew James.
Yes, full-time West Bromwich Albion 0, Manchester City 0, Gabby, is how it's all finished. Let's get the facts out of the way first. Balotelli hit the bar from 30 yards for Manchester City, but Jerome Thomas hit the foot of the post for West Bromwich Albion from a similar opportunity to score. That apart, scoring chances were few and far between, but this game was all about the way that West Bromwich Albion matched Manchester City inch for inch right across the pitch throughout the entire 90 minutes. The game received, the final score received here by the Albion fans as if they'd won the cup. They know that this performance was almost as valuable as their 2 Premier League wins in the games that went before. It's been a great display from West Bromwich Albion. Manchester City, who started with 4 strikers, will wonder how they've emerged with just a point. West Bromwich Albion 0, Manchester City 0.
If ever a draw felt like a victory to Roy Hodgson this evening. And that lineup, that Manchester City lineup, you just felt sure that there were going to be goals in this one, Dion.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, there should have been. You know, they've done really well. The keeper's been very assured in the West Brom goal. And their fans are actually treating this as though they've got 3 points. It's a very sort of steadying performance from West Brom. They stood strong.
Well, they went to Newcastle resilient. And got a win there.
Completely.
They've drawn against Man City.
Yeah.
Suddenly their season's
well,
found a little bit
I mean, what will please Roy Hodgson most is the clean sheet.
Yeah.
I think that above all else, that's something he's been striving for. And to keep Man City out as well, who've got 50 goals in 16 matches in this season, is a terrific achievement. And they've played well today.
Yeah.
OK, let's check in at the Gal Farm. Naz, Premji, Huddersfield look like they're getting back to winning ways.
They certainly do, Gabby. Huddersfield Town 1, Chesterfield 0 into injury time, but they have been frustrated by a dogged Chesterfield. And I tell you what, it's the visitors that have had the best chance of the second half. Jordan Barry with a shot that was whiskers wide. And the only other footnote here, Lee Clark in a technical area, more entertaining than any Christmas panto. Huddersfield Town 1, Chesterfield 0.
Rhodes' 20th of the season. I won't remind Naz that he promised, guaranteed goals in the second half. OK, you only get one of those. Let's go to Tony Lockwood at the Majeski, where there is another goal.
Yes, it's all over now. Brighton have conceded a third. Noel Hunt was lurking with intent, Gabby. I think the final touch came off the unfortunate Adam Al-Abd. Over 22,000 here. 5 wins in 6 for Brian McDermott's side. For Brighton, 3 straight defeats. Into time added on. Reading 3, Brighton 0.
And it is all over at Old Trafford. Wigan can be put out of their misery at 5-0, the final scoreline. A hat-trick for Berbatov. But you get the funny feeling, what will please him more to Alex Ferguson is the scoreline at the Hawthorns, because it really makes it so tight at the top now, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, again, everyone would have expected City to go to West Brom and win. As for United at home to Wigan, you'd have expected United to have got all 3 points. They're stretched with injuries, United. I mean, they've finished the game with Valencia, Carrick, Evra and Fries as their back 4. You know, midfield, they've got, plenty of injury problems. Rooney's playing in midfield in the second half. But that result at West Brom will really please him.
OK, let's hear from Damien Johnson.
Yes, Gabby, 5 goals for the second time in a week against 10-man Wigan sends out a warning to United's title challenge. A hat-trick, as you mentioned, for Dimitar Berbatov. Park had already put them in front when Thomas Salmon was harshly sent off after his flailing hand caught Michael Carrick in the face. Berbatov scored 2 more either side of half-time. This was a makeshift United side with finishing with Evra and Carrick in central defence and Rooney on as a sub in midfield. Valencia drilled a 4th and Berbatov completed his hat-trick from the spot when Park was stripped. It looked outside the area, but the spot kick was given by Phil Dowd, the referee, and Berbatov comfortably rolled the ball into the corner. 5-0 here, a real warning to Manchester City and the rest that United mean business.
Thanks, Damien. It's all over at Anfield as
turn the ball back into the box. Blackburn, apart from their equaliser just before the break, courtesy of a Charlie Adam own goal apart, barely created a chance, but they were resolute, and in the giant frame of Chris Samba and a fine display from their standing goalkeeper, Mark Bunn just made a terrific save just before the end, had a couple of rocks at the back. Gerrard did create opportunities for his teammates after coming on. Stuart Downing could have had a hat-trick, but it's more drop points at Anfield for the Reds and an unlikely point for Blackburn.
Thank you very much. And it's all over at the Reebok. The 300-mile or so round trip for the Newcastle fans was worth it, James Mason.
Yes, and I think they'll enjoy their trip back up the A1 as they win 2-0 today. Their first win in 7 sees Alan Pardew's side halt their mini-crisis, beating a hapless Bolton side with ease. After a non-existent first half, the game burst into life with 2 quick goals to give the north-east side all 3 points. Ryan Taylor created the first, whipping a ball in from wide on the left for Hatem Ben Arfa to score with a first-time strike of the highest quality. And within minutes, it was 2-0. This time, top scorer Demba Ba making it an impressive 14 for the season as he beat UC Jääskeläinen from inside the area. Bolton now look in severe danger of relegation, having the worst defensive record in the Premier League. Bolton 0, Newcastle 2.
And Newcastle's arch rivals, Sunderland, managed a draw against Everton at the Stadium of Light, but not without controversy.
No, the big talking point of this match, Gabby, Everton's equaliser just after the restart of the second half. It was a penalty. Leon Osman skipping into the box. Close attention from Catamol and Wes Brown, but it appeared that Osman shaped up to take a shot. He kicked the ground and fell over. No contact at all with him and the defenders. Howard Webb, referee, took a long time to make a decision, pointed to the spot, and Leighton Baines lashed it into the back of the net for the equaliser. Sunderland had led from midway through the first half. Jack Colback coming on as a substitute for the injured Titus Bramble, getting that goal. Right at the end, in added on time, Stefan Sessegnon saw his shot just deflected the wrong side of the post by Distan, and then with the last kick of the game in the 94th minute, Distan firing over the top from close range. If Mr Webb's watching Match of the Day tonight, he might just be a tad embarrassed. Sunderland 1, Everton 1.
Steve, thank you. Let's go to Turf Moor. A late goal, Andy May.
Indeed, it's finished 3-0. The full-time whistle's just gone. Burnley have beaten Doncaster for the first time in 20 years after goals from their 2 strikers, Patterson and Rodriguez, who added his second just a few moments ago, a header at the far post, the final touch of the game. Doncaster's best chance in this match, a Billy Sharp header that hit the post. But it is a win for Burnley, 3-0 over their rivals.
And Burnley getting it together, Eddie Howe's men. That's 5 wins from 6. And a late goal at Huish Park as well. Hamish Marshall.
Indeed it is. It's gone to the league leaders. So it's Yeovil 2, Charlton 3. Pressure has paid off in stoppage time. Danny Green's low 25-yard effort has surely secured the points for Charlton. It's his first goal since his move from Dagenham and Redbridge, and would condemn Yeovil to a first defeat in 6 games. And if they can hold on, the lead at the top of the table will be 8 points, because Sheffield Wednesday have lost at Walsall. Deep in stoppage time, Yeovil 2, Charlton 3.
And I can confirm that because it was a late goal, wasn't it, Lindsay Hooper?
It was. Manny Smith got the goal. His strike just at the far post went smashed into the roof of the net, and there was uproar here. A late goal actually cancelled out 3 points for them last week with Chesterfield. Today they got all 3. Walsall 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Boy, did they need that.
Let's check in with Andy Barwell at the City Ground. Is it all over there?
It is. A first ever league win for Peterborough against Nottingham Forest. George Boyd's 20th minute goal, his 6th of the season, settled this. Boyd picked out the top left corner of the net. It's now 6 matches and 9 hours without scoring for Forest. No wonder they're in the drop zone. Full time here. Nottingham Forest 0, Peterborough United 1.
Let's go to the Riverside. Paul Addison, it's all over.
It certainly is, Gabby, and Barry Robson is the Middlesbrough hero tonight. This match was nothing to write home about until the 87th minute, when things appeared to be petering out into a goalless draw against the 2 informed sides in the division. Well, Barry Robson picked up the ball on the right-hand side, moved infield just a little bit, and from about 30 yards out, unleashed an absolute rocket that flew past Peter Galassi in the Hull City goal. He stood no chance at all. 7th of the season for Barry Robson. So Borough win the battle against the Tigers this afternoon. It's their 4th win in succession. It finished Middlesbrough 1, Hull City 0.
Let's go to the Madejski. Tony Lockwood, Reading with a fine win.
Yes, Joby McAnuff did the damage. 2 first-half goals for Reading. Adam Alabd put through his own net in the final minutes. Reading's winning run continues. Reading 3, Brighton 0.
Lost Tony there, but I can tell you that puts Reading up to 6 tonight. They're really pushing up the Championship, and Blackpool's win won't have done them any harm. At Oakwell, Alan Biggs.
Yes, Gabby, they haven't lost on Boxing Day now for 7 years. Emphatic in the end, 3-1 at Barnsley, despite going behind to Matt Dunn's goal for Barnsley in a wide-open, fine game of football. It was overturned by Blackpool, courtesy of Barnsley keeper Steele, and a hat-trick from Matt Phillips. His first could have been saved by Steele. His second was an intended cross that foxed the Barnsley keeper, and then he was beaten by a penalty at the end. Blackpool looking ominous on this form. Barnsley 1, Blackpool 3.
That's it, all the reports in. Just a quick reminder that Final Score is now on the BBC HD channel from 2:30 every Saturday, as well as the red button and the BBC Sport website, so there are no excuses for missing us. Let's get all the full classified results now with Mike West.
Beginning with the Barclays Premier League. Bolton Wanderers 0, Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 1, Fulham 1, Liverpool 1, Blackburn Rovers 1, Manchester United 5, Wigan Athletic 0. Stoke City against Aston Villa is an evening kick-off at 7:45. Sunderland 1, Everton 1, and West Bromwich Albion 0, Manchester City 0. The Empire Championship, Barnsley 1, Blackpool 3. Birmingham City against West Ham United is an evening kick-off at 5:30. Burnley 3, Doncaster Rovers 0. Coventry City 1, Bristol City 0. Derby County 1, Leeds United 0. Leicester City 1, Ipswich Town 1. Middlesbrough 1, Hull City 0. Millwall 1, Portsmouth 0. Nottingham Forest 0, Peterborough United 1. Reading 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Southampton 2, Crystal Palace 0. And Watford 1, Cardiff City 1. The Empire League 1, Brentford 1, AFC Bournemouth 1. Colchester United 1, Stevenage 6. Huddersfield Town 1, Chesterfield 0. Leyton Orient 0, Milton Keynes Dons 3. Oldham Athletic 0, Hartlepool United 1. Preston North End 3, Carlisle United 3. Scunthorpe United 1, Bury 3. The game between Tranmere Rovers and Rochdale match postponed. Walsall 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Wycombe Wanderers 3, Exeter City 1. And Yeovil Town 2, Charlton Athletic 3. The Empire League 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, Oxford United 2. The game between Aldershot and Southend United abandoned with the score at 0-1. Bradford City 3, Crewe Alexandra 0. Bristol Rovers 2, Plymouth Argyle 3. Cheltenham Town 0, Shrewsbury Town 0. Crawley Town 1, Gillingham 2. Dagenham and Redbridge 3, Barnet 0. Hereford United 1, Port Vale 2. Macclesfield Town 0, Rotherham United 0. Morecambe 1, Accrington Stanley 2. Northampton Town 2, Burton Albion 3. And Torquay United 1, Swindon Town 0. The Blue Square Bet Premier, AFC Telford United 0, Wrexham 2. Alfreton Town 5, Tamworth 2. Barrow 1, Stockport County 0. Cambridge United 2, Braintree Town 0. Ebbsfleet United 3, Hayes and Yedding United 1. Fleetwood Town 2, Southport 2. Gateshead 1, Darlington 1. Kidderminster 1, Forest Green Rovers 0. Lincoln City 1, Grimsby Town 2. Luton Town 5, Kettering Town 0. Mansfield Town 1, York City 1. And the game between Newport County and Bath City, match postponed. The Irn-Bru Scottish Division 1, Ayr United 1, Raith Rovers 1. Dundee 0, Greenock Morton 1. Falkirk 1, Ross County 1. Hamilton Academical 0, Livingston 1. And Partick Thistle 1, Queen of the South 0. The Scottish Division 2, Albion Rovers 0, Brechin City 1. The game between Arbroath and Stirling Albion abandoned because of high winds. At the time the score was 0-0. East Fife against Dumbarton, match postponed. Forfar Athletic 2, Airdrie United 3. And Stenhousemuir 0, Cowdenbeath 2. The Scottish Division 3, Alloa Athletic 3, Elgin City 0. Clyde 1, Stranraer 1. Peterhead 2, Montrose 3. The Corbett Sports Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth Town 4, Carmarthen Town 1. Bala Town 1, Airbus UK Broughton 0. Newtown 1, the New Saints 3. And Port Talbot Town 2, Athenlido 2. Finally, the Carling Premiership, Coleraine 2, Ballymena United 0. Crusaders 3, Cliftonville 2. Donegal Celtic 2, Lisbon Distillery 1. Glenavon 0, Portadown 2. And Glentoran 1, Linfield 0.
Let's have a little look at the tables then. Well, it's a happy Christmas for the red and blue halves of Manchester, with the clubs neck and neck on points. After United's win against Wigan, they draw level with City. They drew at West Brom. Chelsea drew with Fulham, meaning they missed a chance to go above Spurs. Liverpool are still in 6th after they were held by Blackburn at Anfield. At the bottom, that result fails to make a massive difference, actually, to Rovers' league position. They're still pinned to the foot of the table, but they do move a point closer to safety. Bolton and Wigan failed to make any inroads. Their defeats against Newcastle and Manchester United leave them in the drop zone. Let's move to the Championship, and Southampton have extended their lead to 3 points for now, because West Ham can narrow the gap when they play Birmingham this evening. Middlesbrough go second after beating Hull at the Riverside. Cardiff drops points. Reading move into the playoffs for the first time since the second weekend of the season. At the bottom, Coventry halved the deficit on next bottom Doncaster by earning their first victory in 12. Defeats for Nottingham Forest and Bristol City enable Millwall to move 5 points clear of the bottom 4. To League One, Charlton are now 9 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday, who fell to a late defeat at Walsall. Milton Keynes Dons and Huddersfield have moved above Sheffield United, who play tomorrow. Chesterfield continue to prop up the table, while Rochdale slip a place following the postponement of their game. And there were defeats for Scunthorpe, Yeovil, and Wickham climbed 3 places after beating Exeter. And on to League Two. None of the top 4 won this afternoon. The leaders Crawley lost. Cheltenham and Shrewsbury played out a draw, and Southend's game at Aldershot abandoned due to a floodlight failure. Burton Albion and Gillingham both won. At the bottom, there are 3 separated by goal difference. Plymouth go bottom despite winning today. Northampton also dropped below Dagenham and Redbridge, who had a 3-0 win. And to the Blue Square Bet Premier, Wrexham's victory against Telford sees them open up a 2-point lead over Fleetwood, who were held to a draw by Southport. At the bottom, Alfreton leapfrog Stockport thanks to their victory in an 8-goal thriller against Tamworth. OK, let's get the headlines then from the Premier League today. And Manchester United ran up 5-0 winners over Wigan. A big Boxing Day stroll for them. Park, Berbatov and Valencia cruising to victory against the Latics. Goalless at the Hawthorns. West Brom 0, Man City 0. Mancini's bright sparks failing to light up the Black Country. A stalemate there. And it was Chelsea 1 square at Anfield. 0 Newcastle 2, the tune hitting the right note at last. Goals from Ben Arthur and Demba Ba, seeing Pardew's early season pace setters returning to winning ways at the Reebok. Sunderland 1, Everton 1. Black Cats getting stuck in a rut with the Toffees. Baines grabs a goal back after Colback gives O'Neill's side the lead. Of course, you can see it all on Match of the Day tonight. Gary's joined by Alan Shearer and Mark Lawrenson for you there. 10:45 on BBC One. That's it from us. We do go onto the red button now, you know, if you want some more reaction from managers and players around the Premier League. If not, have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas. We'll see you on New Year's Eve. Take care.